Good morning, sixth graders. We're taking a look today at lesson 4. It's more models, okay? The only thing different in this one, our target goal is to be able to work with dividing fractions where the denominators in the fractions are not the same, okay? So that's our biggest thing. We are looking at page 39 in your textbook, and the beginning is just an opening quick. We're supposed to write 3 equivalent fractions for each of these fractions. So reminder, how do we do that? Well, we need a couple different ways. We need 3 ways actually that we can write them, and we won't have changed the problem, but we would be writing it in a different way. So we need to be able to multiply this fraction that we currently have by 3 different methods or 3 different numbers that are all equivalent to 1. So one way I could do it is I'm going to just put a 2 in here, and I know 2 over 2 is the same thing as 1. I know 3 over 3 is the same thing as 1, and I know 4 over 4 is the same thing as 1. So now I'm going to multiply. 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 2 is 6. That's an equivalent. Going back, 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 3 is 9. That also is equivalent. And the last one, 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 4 is 12, and that would be a third equivalent. So that made it really easy. Now, on this next one, we can do the exact same thing, okay? Only this time, there's a little bit different stuff that we can do. My ones are getting horrible. Look at that beauty. All right, so in this one, again, I could multiply by 2 over 2, but I could also divide by 2 over 2. So let's do that one. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. So in this case, we still used a factor of 1, but we made it smaller rather than larger. Now I could use my 2 over 2 again, but this time I could multiply it by 2 over 2. So 10 times 2 is 20, and 12 times 2 is 24. So that works also. And let's just pick another one. I can just do 5. 5 over 5 is the same thing as 1. 10 times 5 is 50, and 12 times 5 is 60. Pretty easy. Next one is right below it, and we're talking about Molly. And Molly has purchased 11/8. Oh, in mine it says 1 3/8, sorry. They have already made this. Since it's an improper, they made it into a mixed. So those are the same. So she purchased 1 3/8 cups of strawberries. If she eats 3/8, man, it's not the same. 3/8 cups per serving. How many servings does she have? That is not even the same. Ugh. We're going to do it with the numbers in your book, so I am going to stick with this. So we need to go ahead and start out with her 1 3/8. Now, let's go ahead and find our model. That is not what I wanted. Okay, go back. Here's our model, and we are cutting it into 8ths because we know that there are 8 of them. So I need 7 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. Now, when I look at that, there are 8 pieces, but in reality, I need this right here, this 11 pieces. So I'm going to need another one of these shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and copy it. And now As I look at this though, do I have, this is 8 and this is 8, that's 16. Do I have 16 eighths that I have of strawberries? No, I don't, right? So I need to make sure that I realize that I do not have all of these. I have 8, 9, 10, 11. So this section right here, I don't have. So it's gone, okay? So depending if you wanted to just draw 3 extra, you could have done it that way. Otherwise, I'm just gonna mark it off, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and it says if she eats 3/8 or she needs 3/8 cup for a batch of muffins in her case, we're gonna put these in groups of 3/8. So I'm gonna find, here's one group, 2 groups. I'm gonna steal one from this next portion and I can't make a whole nother one, right? So I have 3 complete groups and then I have 2 extra pieces out of the 3 that I would need. So my answer here is 3 2/3. Okay, so she can make 3 2/3 batches. Now let's look at example 2, top of the next page. Now this one says Molly's friend Xavier also has that same amount. He needs 3/4 of a cup of strawberries to make a batch of tarts. How many batches can he make? So again, it's a little different than my wording, same numbers. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. Let's draw it. We have the same exact shapes as above. So I'm gonna still divide it into my 8. There we go. And again, we have to have 2 of those, or at least 3 extra. This time I'll just draw my 3 that I have extra. Okay. And we look at this, and this time it tells us we are going to put it into 3/4. How am I going to do that? I don't have fourths. How can I do that? Well, what happens if I rewrite those fourths as something different? So I can look at this 3/4, and instead, since I know that I have right now in eighths, let's write that as eighths. So 4 times what gave me 8? Right, 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. So I'm putting these really in groups of 6/8. Now I can go and do it just like normal. So I'm going to count out 6 of these. There's my 6. Do I have 6 left? No, I do not. So it is only going to be one group, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of my groups of 6 that I'm doing. So I would get 1 5/6. Let's go to the next one. All right, here we have 3/4, and we're dividing it by 2/3. 3/4 divided by 2/3. Now, I see right away that these denominators are not the same. I want to change those and get those the same right away. That'll save me so much time later on. So I see that 4 and 3. I need to find my least common multiple. So I'm counting by 4s and counting by 3s until I get to the same number. Well, in this case, it's going to be 12. So I'm going to write my 12 down below. And 4 goes into 12 3 times. So 3 times 3 is 9. And 3 went into 12 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. By doing that, I now can work this problem just as we have for the last couple days. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my model. And in this case, it has 12 pieces. So I need 11 lines. All right, so there are my 12 pieces. And now I'm grouping them. Oh, wait, sorry. We only have, out of these 12, we have 9 of them. So we do not have these 3. Okay, so we only have this right here, which is our 9/12. And now I'm going to group them into 8/12. Well, 8 of them is all but 1, right? So we have all of these. There's my 8/12. And I have 1 piece left over. So I made 1 full, and I had 1 out of my 8. And there's my answer. Next one. Again, our denominators are not the same. Let's make them the same. Do I need to pick a larger number? I could find what 2 and 4 both go into, and I could pick 8, right? But I could also, if you notice that 2 goes into 4, I could just worry about changing this first one, and that would make it way easier, and it would make it smaller numbers. So I'm going to use a 4, because I know that they can both go into 4 also. 2 goes into 4 2 times, so 2 times 6 is 12. So really I have 12/4 divided by 3/4. Denominators are the same. Let's go ahead and draw our shapes. All right, I'm making it nice and small because I really only have to have 4 pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut that into my 4. So there are my 4 pieces I have, and I need 12 of those. So 12 of them really I need 3 full. So we have 4, 8, 12. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and group those in groups of 3. Oops, thought I clicked on that. And ready? There's 1 group of 3. Here is 2 groups of 3, 3 groups, and 4 groups. 4 perfect groups, so my answer is 4. Okay, you're going to go ahead and you are going to, let's just do numbers 2 and 3 and get those checked before you go on.